Some people really loved the trailer we got a little bit ago for Kraven the Hunter. Others were fairly unhappy with the whole thing, but some were particularly upset with it because it undermined a popular fan theory that so many people were hoping would come true. But what was that fan theory? Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Sony's universe of Marvel characters, or the SMU as I'm going to refer to it for the rest of the video, is kind of odd when you think about it for longer than about 5 seconds. It's built around characters who are related to Spider-Man, and features an overarching plot that is building towards an inevitable encounter with the webhead. And yet, we don't know which Spider-Man they're gonna use. Outside of some graffiti and small little mentions here or there, we have got basically nothing of their version of Spider-Man. Naturally, you probably think Tom Holland's wall crawler, being the most current, would be the way to go. However, he seems to be staying put within the MCU for the time being. So who else could it be? Well, after No Way Home's release, fans had another idea. Despite his films initially being received more negatively at the time of their release, Andrew Garfield's performance in the MCU Spider-Man team-up movie, one that made people return to those older Spidey flicks and reevaluate them, had fans clamoring to see Garfield return as the Amazing Spider-Man for a third movie, suggesting that he could be the version of Peter Parker to face off against Venom, Morbius, Vulture, and Kraven, as well as any other characters that Sony introduces into the SMU. It was seemingly the perfect idea, one that even Garfield seemed very receptive to. The MCU gets to keep its Spidey, Sony gets to have their villains and anti-heroes take on Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield gets the respect he deserves as one of the finest webheads ever seen on the big screen. It's a win-win-win. However, the recent trailer for Kraven the Hunter kinda threw a wrench in this idea. A big, leathery, horned wrench. At the end of the trailer, we get the reveal of one of the villains of the movie, as a man seemingly transforms into a beast into the villainous Rhino. That's all well and good, but one slight problem. The Amazing Spider-Verse already has a Rhino, the one played by Paul Giamatti in the second movie. You know, the guy who was just about to get smacked in the face by a manhole cover before the movie cut to the end credits. So with this one reveal, the trailer effectively broke the potential continuity, putting a kibosh on the entire idea. But hang on a second though, as things aren't entirely lost. Andrew Garfield could still be the SMU's Spider-Man, and all it would really take would be a single line of dialogue in Kraven from this new Rhino. All he'd have to do is make reference to some crazy Russian guy in a suit, call him a fake Rhino, then go about his merry way, probably knocking down walls and running over helpless bystanders. A simple, easy-to-handle retcon that really wouldn't change much. I mean, Giamatti's version of the character, while memorable, didn't exactly do much in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, brushing him aside would actually be pretty simple. Of course, there is another way that this could be handled, a more extreme way, which is by simply removing the Amazing Spider-Man films from the canon of the SMU entirely and having a quote-unquote new Spider-Man who just so happens to be nearly identical to Andrew Garfield's original version. Of the two options, personally I'd say go with the number one, as the second one kinda defeats the purpose of bringing back Garfield entirely. Through all this though, it's very possible that despite fans wishing and hoping for Garfield's return, that Sony might have other plans regarding their SMU Spider-Man. Given how much money the MCU version of the character has brought in, it is more than likely that they'll find a way to shunt him over to their universe for the big villainous team-up that they're building towards. Or maybe they'll bring in a new webhead. Guess we'll just have to continue waiting to see. Would you like to see Andrew Garfield return and be Spider-Man for the SMU? Or would you like someone else? Tom Holland? Tobey Maguire? Someone new? How about going way back and bringing in Nicholas Hammond? No? Alright, fair enough.